Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Christian, and welcome back to another rfonline PlayPark video. For today's video, we are now back in the Cora Alliance, and this is the new server, Nexus server. And I have here my cross-class Mage Black Knight, or MBK. So I've gotten a lot of questions about making a video about cross classes, and some don't know what MBK means. So this is for your questions. So we're gonna talk about how to make an MBK, what is it, and what are the pros and cons of this class or cross class. Alright, let's get started. First, we'll talk about how to make an MBK. First, when you go to your character creation screen, character select screen, when you make your character, your initial class should be a mystic or a mage. So that's very important. That's where the M comes from, mystic or mage, right? Now, once you get your character, just level it up as usual, like normal. But once you get to level 30 and level 40, and you go to your race manager, right, you get a class promotion. Instead of choosing the usual classes, which is the summoner or the magus, I think you're gonna have to choose the warrior classes. Specifically, choose the knight, or in level 40 it's called Templar, and before it was called the Black Knight, hence the BK from the MBK. So that's how you make a Mage Black Knight. Initial class should be mystic, and then your job or class at level 30 or level 40 should be the death type knight or templar. You can do it the other way around, like make a warrior first and then choose a summoner as your job, but that's gonna be for a whole other video. So we'll focus on this one, the MBK. Now, let's talk about the pros. Why did I choose this class for the Nexus server? So, first, one weakness of the mage, I'm sure you all know, it's got very low HP. So, you're gonna die a lot while playing the game. And the solution I found to that is, if you're a cross class, you're a Templar, basically your HP is the same as a regular tank. So my HP is like 14,000, I'm level 48, and from what I can remember, my HP is higher than when I had a regular mage before. I think my HP was below 10,000. So your HP is higher, gonna help you with survivability when you're PvPing or leveling or farming or whatever you're doing in game, right? That's pro number one. Now, number two, kind of related to number one, since you are a warrior cross class, you can use warrior gears like warrior weapons and warrior armors, which have higher defense than mage armors. So this is also gonna help you with your survivability. And for example, you're being raided when you're leveling or when it's PvP time, your enemies will kinda not really ignore you, but they won't go for you first because they'll go for your mages or rangers first. So you'll be ignored. That's gonna help you with your survivability. And you can also be a semi-tank. You can lure. So sometimes I lure when I'm bored. So that's one pro of being an MBK. Now next, since your initial class is a mage, you can still use elite force of mages. So Blaze Pearl and all of these other forces, which I actually don't have. So I don't have most of them yet because it's expensive here in Nexus server. But that's good because you can still be, for example, you get Meteor Swarm. You can still be DPS in your party, right? So it can help you with leveling. So that's good. Another pro if you are a cross-class MBK. You can use, like, you get the best of both worlds, being a mage and being a warrior. Now, the last pro that I like for being an MBK is you can actually make your own GM buffs without using any third-party apps or using a debuffer. So this is because of the class skill, which is Purge. You get this at Elite for warriors. Basically, you remove all of your buffs and debuffs. So, like that. Basically, you go to your macro page, press Y, you go to your auto action and just put all the buffs you want to buff, right? So I put it here and then number 9. So I just, maybe when I'm doing something else, I just leave my character AFK, put a coin or an eraser or any paperweight on my number 9 key. My character buffs, right? So as normal, I buff my velocity, tempo, and all these other buffs. And you can also put your skill buffs here like Wild Rage and all these other rapid reload, right? And then put the Purge buff at the end. So it's gonna debuff itself, like so. And then it's gonna buff again, and the cycle just goes round and round. And then eventually you'll be able to make your own GM buffs, which is one of the things I like about the MBK, because I'm also busy doing real things in real life, and there are times I don't have enough time to play. So this is making your character productive, right? Just put your sacrifice in your FP pots slot, like that, so that you won't need any blue potions and you can just do this. And eventually you'll get GM buffs, right? So those are the pros of the MBK. Now let's talk about the cons. Since you are a cross class, you don't have access to any of the class skills. So you don't have any summons, you can't use any Isis or any of those other summons, which kind of sucks because that's one of the things that makes Cora special, the summons. So gotta live with that. And you also don't have the class skills of the warrior, so no full swing, no bash explosion, but you can still use pressure bomb, which I like, right? Because sometimes I still miss playing with my warrior in Desolation server, but I like the mage also, so you can switch weapons. Now, I think that's the only con, right? You don't have any class skills. And I think another con is for beginners. This class is actually kind of complicated, so I won't really recommend it for beginners. So maybe if you're just bored of the game like me, you can try out different classes like this. So yeah, that's about it. You're not as strong as like the regular Archmagus, but at least you still have Adept, which increases your force attack a little bit, right? And if you want to use warrior items, you can still buff Wild Rage. It also increases your attack. So yeah, those are the pros and cons of the MBK. Oh yeah, and you can buff yourself with Velo, which is very important here in Nexus server because at the beginning you don't have access to premium service yet. So that's one of the reasons why I chose an MBK, so I can Velo myself. But I think compared to, for example, the Bellato cross class, they have the Shield Miller, Mage Miller something. I think that's better, mainly because their expert Holy Force has healing, so they can heal themselves, which is kind of OP in my opinion. So I think those Bellato cross classes have higher survivability than the Cora cross class. But since I'm like a diehard Cora fan, I would still prefer being an MBK of the Cora Alliance. Well, what do you think of the Cora MBK? So let me know in the comments section, and if you have any questions, just comment them down and I like to read them. Don't forget to like the video if you guys like the video, and as always, subscribe for more RF Online PlayPark. My name's Christian, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.